Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What a brilliant start we've had to this year's Dafabet Masters, and it's England against Australia now for a place in the quarter-finals of snooker's most prestigious invitational tournament. Please welcome a player back for his second crack at the Masters. He has fought his way up into the world's top 16 over the last 2 years. Semi-finalist at this season's International Championship. When he's in the groove, he is a brilliant break builder. He's Gloucester's cider-drinking milkman, Robert Milkins. Robert, that is one of the best walk-ons in the business. It's fantastic to see you here amongst the games elite. It's been a long journey and you've really deserved to get up here into the top 16.
Yeah, it took me a long time, and I started producing against, the top players, and started getting to later stages of ranking events, particularly, and just my game's a lot more consistent now than it was.
Well, the very best of luck tonight. It's going to be a big one. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Milkins. And his opponent, a player whose victory here 3 years ago was the second part of his magnificent Triple Crown. Without doubt, the 2010 champion of the world is one of snooker's greats. And last season, he became the first player to achieve a century of centuries in a single season. Can you hear the thunder from down under? Here's Neil Robertson. Neil, it's been an immense journey over the last 10 years. You've just about won everything, and this Masters is a very, very special tournament, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. I mean, just looking back at some of the previews for the tournament, and got special memories winning it, and having Alexandra with me. So it'd be nice to repeat those kind of pictures. And yeah, look, it's a tournament everyone prepares for really well, and there's no easy matches. Everyone's a top player, so every match could quite easily be a final. So it's always going to be tough.
Good luck tonight, Neil. We know this is going to be fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy.
Well, welcome everybody to the Alexandra Palace. He's not number one in this tournament, of course, because the reigning champion, Ronnie O'Sullivan, holds that position. And he's playing a young man, Robert Milkins, world rank number 15, who will not take lightly, because Robert has a very good victory over Neil Robertson. And that was in the 2013 first round of the World Championship at the Crucible, where Robert beat Neil 10 frames to 8. So take nothing for granted in this one. It should be a cracker. Both potters and break builders. Well,
Robert Milkins, 4.
Played the thin cut, but no harm done really. Not left a pot on. Alexandra, first time at the Masters from Romania. Well, he's in action again here.
Fall and miss. Neil Robertson, 4.
Well, you don't see that very often. A player put the ball in the D, in hand, and misses the reds completely. Miss not being taken. It's an easy safety for Neil. And he'll want to keep this match free-flowing. He won't want to get tied up in a tactical battle. If he has a weakness, Stephen, that for me is Neil Robertson's weakness. Sometimes he can get bogged down.
Yeah, his natural game is to be aggressive. One of the, well, I would say the best or most consistent long putter in the game today, Neil Robertson. As you say, won't take Robert Milkins lightly. He's such a dangerous opponent when he's on his game. I think if Neil gets on top of Robert early, maybe goes 1-0, 2-0 up. Robert, sometimes in the past his head goes down a bit, but if Robert gets off to a fast start, as you say, it could be in for a cracker.
And there's John Terry, big snooker fan. And of course, he'll be hoping for a Premier League title again this year. You always feel with that type of shot, you're trying to get the cue ball tight to the baulk cushion. Just caught the red a little bit thin, but that extra bit of pace has nestled the cue ball behind the brown. And Robert Milkins now in a spot of bother. He'll do well to not leave a pot on here.
Yeah, I suppose the only downside for Neil looking at this, if he gets an opportunity, is the pink and black's tied up. Well, at first glance, this could have been worse. The red to the right corner looks pretty straight. In an exhibition, you go for this red in the right corner and deep screw, try to dislodge the black, but there's no way Neil will be playing that here.
He's given it plenty of thought. The problem is, if he turns down the pot on the red near the top cushion, if he goes to the baulk end, he's got to be very careful not to leave this red to the right corner. So just coming up to the minute, he'd be looking for the yellow, you would think, to cover the path to that red to the right corner. Now, is there a gap between yellow and brown and blue? No, there isn't. So that red now becomes a problem for Robert. Got it much too thick. There's two reds on the right hand side of the table, but there's also one to the left corner. I think the blue may be blocking the path to those two reds, but now the pink's in the open, the blacks come free. Good pot, good position, good chance to score.
Well,
Foul.
I don't think I've seen Neil miss a long ball by so far, especially with his hand on the table.
It was amazing. I can only assume he's put a lot of right-hand side on the cue ball and just pushed it right into it. Didn't cue it well. So here's a nice opening. Yeah, he was playing it with right-hand side, pushed the cue ball and almost hit the red full ball. Knocking the yellow in, okay, that cost him 4 points, but what a chance for Robert Milkins this is. First frame. So all you're looking for, a chance to get your hand on the table and settle yourself down.
6. Seven.
A good bit short with the cue ball, but no real problems. Got a red over either corner. Just got to avoid a cannon in the baulk colours. Won't really want to play for the black until the black spot is clear.
12.
Yeah, but just coming the wrong side of the blue, it just meant that that cue ball had to start travelling a bit more than he would like. And I don't think he can get past the pink to the easy red to the left corner and this one to the right corner. Okay, it's potable, but he won't be certain where the cue ball is going to finish. Well, he controlled it well, but I'll tell you what, this is a test of this black.
Yeah, it's one of these tricky shots early in a match. If you get it, it gives you a huge boost in confidence. If you miss it, you can leave everything on. Yeah, I didn't play it with a lot of conviction. Just seemed to concentrate on getting the pot.
20.
Nicely rolled in.
21.
And that's what he's capable of, this young man. He's fearless. Good pot, and he thought the only easy red he could leave was the one he was playing. Playing the brown, he's playing for the one along the top baulk cushion. The brown spot occupied. Now what's the highest available? Highest available is the green spot.
25.
But I think the black passes the green, and he's just got enough angle on this red to be able to bring the cue ball back to the middle of the table.
$26.
And I'll suggest now that one good positional shot, you can see the black just passes the green. But he can concentrate on the pink, and he's got the blue on the spot. This is a great chance. Well, he decided to play the brown. But he needs to be on the red. Okay, he's on the red to the left corner, but a little bit to do with the cue ball. But one good positional shot off this, and the frame is at his mercy.
$31.
Just not far enough for the blue. The blue obviously is unmissable, but the pink will give him better position on the red, so pink it is. And strokes it in beautifully.
37. Yes. 38.
Just found a gap for the cue, so he wasn't hampered. If you were being picky, you'd say he just underhit it slightly. He'd like to have been straight on this pink. But he's okay, I think. Pots are always made easier when you don't have to do much with the cue ball.
44. $45.
Only played here once before, as Robert. That was last year when he lost in his first match to Ronnie O'Sullivan, 6-1.
51.
And, didn't manage to make a break over 50 in that match.
52.
But he's showing his worth here. So 62 ahead, 75 remaining. Red and the pink would do it. Or red and the blue.
59.
He's on the blue. So the blue to go 68 points in front with just 67 remaining.
$64. $65. $70. Thank you. 71.
Well, the frame well and truly over now for Robert, and how he would dearly love to make a century. If anything settles a player down, then a century does.
$77.
Well, he got plenty of action, but he needed a bit of side. Needs a good shot to get on one of these last two reds. And goes the yellow. Now leaves a nice kiss. You're going to get one, Robert. That'll do. That will do. Well
played. 80. 81.
Unfortunately, the kiss has knocked this red close to the top cushion, so it's not going to be easy. But he's played it well enough, hasn't he?
83.
Well, that was a wonderful shot. I couldn't tell you how
84.
difficult that. I know the frame's over and he's relaxed, but boy, did he strike that well.
'89.
Yes, to the audience running this. Not many of whom will have seen Robert Milkins play live, as it is. They've seen him on the TV. Disappointing for him, but never mind that. He won the first frame and he did it in one visit. And he's shown Neil Robertson, don't take me for granted. Robert Milkins leads the world #1, 1-frame-0. Well, you said at the time, Stephen, when Neil went for that long red, I've never seen him miss a ball by so far. That gave Robert a chance, but of course, in potting the red as he did, he left himself this very difficult black.
Yeah, I said at the time, it's a big confidence boost if you pot these tricky shots early on in a match. And I think he played it, as I said, with not too much conviction. He sort of like just birded the black in, really. But it was a good pot, just went in off the left knuckle, as we see here. Then potted another great red, the red beside the pink. He potted that to the green pocket, and what a break. This is the red again, almost a shot to nothing. Was virtually not leaving anything should he miss it. But I said earlier, if he gets his confidence up, this is a very dangerous player. What a talent. He doesn't even cue up, John. He just points his cue and just pots them.
Yeah, I think he's just one of those players who really plays on instinct. And if he's in the mood, he's a match for anyone. And even though the best of 11, it is only one session of snooker, so it can slip away quite easily. Just having to wait for a few people who arrived late and didn't get in for the first frame. I thought there was a few empty seats, and we've not seen many here. The crowd so far have been absolutely fantastic, and the atmosphere that goes with it. And there's the wonderful trophy that they're playing for.
Then it doesn't matter that Neil Robertson's world #1. The fact that he missed that long shot by so far will not have made him feel very good.
Yeah, I suppose you could liken it to a golfer, couldn't you? They've been on the practice range, hitting the drive straight down the middle, they come at the first tee, hook it, or push it out to the right, and then all of a sudden you're starting thinking, well, what did I do wrong there? And you don't want to be questioning your cue action in the middle of a match. But it was only one shot, and I'm certain he'll have realised what he did wrong. Just it slightly across it.
You see, playing it with lots of right-hand side, and if you don't hit it smoothly, the cue ball gets pushed thick. That's what happened. Good length in the cue ball there from Robert. Probably play thin off this red and bring the cue ball up and down the table. Won't be playing the pot to the right centre, I don't think. I think it's too thin.
Have a look at the player's view. Yeah, it's just too thin to pot, as you say. But if he doesn't play safe off that red, he's going to be very careful he doesn't leave a pot on here. He may have left a... Oh, well, I thought there was a red could be onto the right middle, but the red he played just flicked it into maybe a safe position. Well, he won't be happy with that. That was very careless. And he's gifted a chance now to Neil Robertson. Doesn't want to be doing that too many times.
1. Five. 6.
Black looks to be out of commission. The pink in the open at the moment, but I'm not certain it will be if Neil Robertson pots it at some time, because I'm not certain if the pink spot's available. But maybe the red he's playing now is the one that's occupying the pink spot, so this might clear the area somewhat.
11.
So there's the red that's half covering the pink spot. That's the one he's going to play now. A little cannon on the one to the left of it, just to make a little bit more room for the pink. He didn't want to be hampered. That just restricts now what he can do with the cue ball. Well, maybe he's left this red with the possibility of potting it and canning those two reds, or, well, some way trying to release the black. It's not guaranteed to be on the black, that's the only thing off this shot. Oh, but he's played it perfectly. Beautiful shot. Lovely cue ball control. Turned out he had the perfect angle and made the most of it. Now just looking to see where the black will go if the spot's available. There's no, well, there's a green spot available. He doesn't want to lose. Well, he's got the angle. He can just nudge the red to the left of the black here. Well, he's played that poorly. I mean, he looked absolutely inch perfect there, Stephen, didn't he, to play the little cannon?
Yeah, and that shot was probably...
26.
I don't know. Well, it was a lot easier than the cannon he played previously to nudge the red away from the black.
Well, he'd be very disappointed when he gets
Yeah,
back to
Robertson,
his seat, when he
26.
got that first cannon and he brought the black into play. He thought there was a good chance of making a sizable break, but the next little cannon he played, well, it was poor, and that's why he's back in his chair.
Foul.
Well, two poor safety shots
Till Robertson 4.
running from Robert, and he's got to cut out those unforced errors. This time he's just got a nice angle on the blue to stun down.
Six. Seven.
He just finished a little bit awkward here. I'd love to play the blue, but he's hampered. And he's queuing from the reds. And this is not the best angle in the blue either. This needs good queuing. Nope.
I would suggest at the
Robertson,
moment,
7.
Stephen, not quite settled here, Neil Robertson. Okay, world number one, but you're always a little bit concerned the early part of a match whether you cue him well, and as we saw in the first frame when he missed that long red by a distance, that a little bit of tension in his arm at the moment.
1.
So, two poor safety shots from Robert Milkins, but it hasn't cost him the frame.
Yes.
Asking for the cue ball to be clean, and we saw as soon as the white hit the yellow leapt in the air. It
Okay.
took all the pace out of the cue ball. Just watch this. There you go. And all that backspin he had on the cue ball was nullified.
I don't know if he can just... He's going to put this red to the left corner. The red that's to the right of it, if he can play a little cannon on that to leave the pink to the right centre, but if he's stretching, it makes it even more tricky. But that's the shot.
Yeah, that's the one that Stephen's talking about, but as you say, Stephen, if he's stretching and he has to use the rest, it makes it a lot more difficult, so deciding against it. He's got down quick for the alternative, though. But that is Robert Milkins in a nutshell. Decided he couldn't reach the obvious shot and then got down and played that as though he was in the snooker club.
But I don't... If he's stretching for that, the difficult one, why not play the easier pot? He's still stretching. I don't understand that.
Yeah, as I said earlier, he's a guy who plays on instinct. He's played a few what can only describe as slipshod shots in this frame so far. 3 of them.
One.
It was nicely cued. He'd have to say, win the frame from here. He'd be absolutely disgusted with himself if he doesn't win the frame at this visit.
Seven.
Well, as you can see, he's come pretty straight on this. Can he force it round off 2 cushions for the pink to the middle? That's what he's tried to do. And he's made a pretty good job of it. I mean, they knock these in nowadays like they're over the pocket, but There's a bit of pressure on this, and as I say, to me, he's not quite settled yet. But straight in the heart of the pocket, and surely he won't make any mistakes from here.
14.
You'd have to say, though,
15.
he's been gifted the 3 chances that he's needed in this frame. And Robert, if he's got any aspirations to win this match, he can't keep doing that.
$21. 22.
'So this knowledgeable Alexandra Palace audience know that snooker's now required. 62 ahead, just 59 remaining. As Stephen said, he needed 3 chances, and he's been
29.
gifted them. He's not had to work for them. But this will settle him down, you would have thought.
$35. 36. 42. 43. 48.
Tough these when they're just off the cushion. But made light of it.
49.
And just signs now that he's just beginning to get the cue through a bit better. He's always ramrod straight when he pushes that cue through. And that's why he's such a good potter.
$55. 57. 60.
7 pinks. Well, it doesn't matter about the brown. The frame was well and truly
Robert
over there. I
60.
said it wouldn't be a...
And the
Oh,
frame.
wait for a minute. Is this brown going in, referee? Not quite. Anyway, Neil Robertson wasn't bothered about that. Robert Milkins there made a few, well, poor errors. Gave Neil Robertson 3 chances. That's more than enough. And it's level at 1-all. Well, Stephen, I said it wouldn't be a slow match. The first frame, 17.5 minutes practically. That one just over 15. But gifted chances there, wasn't it, from Robert?
Yeah, I think this is what I would say the difference between the real top players and or the best players and the top players. The best players just don't make these unforced errors, or they maybe make 1 in a whole match. Robert's made 3 in 1 frame, and you just can't get away with that playing against someone like Neil Robertson. As I said, if he's got any chance of winning this match, he can't afford mistakes like this.
And this one, for me, was unforgivable because he thought about playing the shot that you suggested, pot the red, cannon the red next to it and have the pink in the middle. Gave that all the thought, then decided he couldn't reach it, and then just quickly got down and played an alternative and caught it far too full.
Thank you. Third frame, Robert Milkins to break.
So it's Robert Milkins who gets frame 3 underway. He is the type of guy, though, that he can make the unforced errors that he did in the last frame, and it won't bother him in the least. What will bother him if he starts missing easy pots, but so far he's not missed anything too easy. Just careless safeties. He's got to be a little bit careful if he decides to play to the balk end, that he doesn't leave a chance of a pot on that red near the blue. Needs to miss the brown. No, well short of the balk cushion, which was the only way he could make one of these reds difficult. So another loose safety. Will cost you at this level.
Another one thick. Seemed to hit that one quite hard. I mean, when you do go for a long shot and you do miss it, it does tend to look like you've hit it too hard a lot of the time, but certainly not cueing them as well as you would expect.
No, you definitely have to say he's putting a bit of unintentional right-hand side on that type of shot. Didn't get on the blue, Robert, but made light of the brown.
5.
Black's out of commission, so is the pink, so we'll have to concentrate on blue and balk colours for the time being. I assume the blue passes
6.
this red to the right middle. Well, he wanted to be better on this red than he is, and he left himself a thin cut.
Robert Milkins, 11.
Didn't make the most of that opportunity. The pink goes. And what would be beneficial to Neil is if the pink didn't go back on its spot. He'd love it to go on the black spot. Now does it?
Yeah.
Is there enough room? Well, referee
7.
thinks not. Didn't even check. So that's perfect for Neil.
That was nicely controlled.
13.
Deliberately brought this red to the left corner into play, but a little bit unfortunate if he's covered the right corner for the pink. Oh, it's got a nice angle. Can play for the pink to the same pocket.
14.
This time he's trying to cannon into the main bunch. Bound to have a red to either corner here if he connects the cue ball, as I say, with the main bunch of 5 reds. We caught the loose red first, but it's okay. Always have this red over the right corner.
20.
Yeah, Stephen said he just wanted to catch the heart of the red. He just flicked that red first, and I wouldn't say he's come awkward, because he's got the red over the corner. He's got this one to the left corner, which will bring him nicely on the blue.
$21.
So a decent chance this, even though the black you would think is out of commission. But he'd like to get this red away from the right corner, if possible, because eventually the pink he might want it to go into that corner pocket.
Yeah, I think if you play a soft cannon, the red is to the right of the pink. I would clear the pink a bit.
Yeah, that would make more room for the pink. That's what he's playing, and played it nicely. And the blue just drops in.
$26. $27. $32.
Landed nicely on this red now. Just a little stun back play for the pink to the left middle. And when you can just play these little
23.
stuns and screws in the middle of the table, it makes positional play so much easier. Well, we saw the pink jump and the sigh from Neil, but didn't really affect the position. On a bad day it would.
39.
Very straight on this red. He'd like to just screw straight back for the pink once again in the middle here. If he tries to run round off two cushions, it could go wrong. It's close to that red.
40.
As long as he's straight on this pink, it shouldn't be a problem. If he's just off straight the wrong side, then... And he is. So it's not going to be perfect on those two reds, the left of the pink. In fact, he may even play it with a bit of pace and play for the red near the baulk line. As I say, if it had been straight, he could have just rolled it in,
46.
but this way he knew it'd be nicely on this red. But he's not played that too well.
47.
He tried to develop the brown, I believe, but he hasn't done that. And it's only a thin cut on the yellow, thin cut on the green. He's got a 36-point lead. But there's still a possible 67 remaining. So he's not over the line yet.
Paul. Neil Robertson,
Well,
47.
he put his bridge
Robin
hand
Milkins,
down and
4.
touched the yellow. And to be fair to Neil, he was up immediately. I've no doubt the referee did spot it, but he got in before him. Yeah, just his finger, you see it there? Careless.
Well, that's an excellent safety shot from Robert Milkins. Not only bringing the safe red off the cushion, but what a great cue ball.
Absolutely inch perfect, wasn't it? Just missed the yellow. Perfect length. And although he's got a 32-point lead, Neil Robertson, if he left Robert Milkins a chance here, we could have a new favourite for this frame. There's only one safe ball on the table, and that's the black near the top cushion. I think he can get through, as we can see, but he can't get back to the ball, Ken. He'll do very well to get this safe. Well, he's done pretty well, really. He's got to miss that red near the blue, and he has done. Now he needs the green to come to his rescue. And it has.
You would say if he can get the cue ball somewhere near the green pocket, it'll block the red closest to the left corner. No, he's played the more like a containing safety shot there.
I suppose with a 32-point lead, it wasn't a bad idea to put a red on the cushion. It was a good line, just a fraction short of pace from Robert there. Good shot. Good cue ball. Okay, he brought the black away from the top cushion, but he realised the safety was more important. Now, if this misses the yellow, this will be very good. It's very good. But I think Neil can just get to the red that's just below the blue. And as much as he can hit of that red will take him nicely back to the balk end. Good shot, but there is a gap. And although Robert Milkins 32 points behind, it could be one good safety shot that turns this frame one way or the other. Well, I think Neil would have been half expecting to pot that. It's all about getting a good cue ball here, and this looks very good. It's even better now, he's hampered by the green. there's the player's view, and as you can see, he can't get to the middle of the cue ball, and that just makes it difficult. Or maybe he can just get to the middle of the cue ball playing this red, but oh, well, he could see enough of it. It's a bit pacey. And catching the yellow. Now, does this tempt Robert Milkins? There's certainly a couple of pots on here. You wouldn't expect him to turn it down. Let me put it that way. Sloped it in. Wrong side of the blue, but with the baulk colours off the spots, there's a big enough gap here between brown and green to get that cue ball in and out of baulk. It's a chance, this.
6.
100% long pot success. 20% Neil Robertson, best potter in the world. Amazing.
7.
Obviously be glad to get this pink back in the spot. That'll make position on these two reds that are more in the middle of the table easier.
13.
Can play for either one here.
Yeah, I think it looks to have a perfect angle, as you say, Stephen. Could play for either one. I prefer the one on the left-hand side of the table because that's in your eye line and you get the feel of just bouncing it off the cushion for that red. We play for it in the middle. Played it nicely.
19.
Well, what happened there?
Robert Milkins, 19.
Well, you can only assume there's a little bit of tension in the arm, or he put a little aside because he didn't really get close to the pot. He only just caught the bump of the middle pocket.
Yeah, a little bit surprised he played for it in the middle because that was a more exact positional shot he had to play.
1.
The problem for, well, the only real problem for Neil here is, well, in fact, he's only going to need the yellow, so if he takes a pink, he's going to be 27 in front with 27 on the table. So
7.
I was going to say he needs to be straight in the yellow to get on the green, but that's obviously not a problem.
Well, there's a surprise.
7.
I mean, the modern day players are usually so good with the rest. Surprised to see him miss that, and he's left a chance for Robert. Now, if he can finish nicely on this brown, he needs it to slow up a little bit. If he's not good on the brown, he'll have to play the yellow. Because as Stephen said earlier, if you need the green, as Robert does, you want to be straightish on the yellow. In fact, I'd rather leave the brown there. At least when you pot the green, you won't have much to do with it. But he decided to play that shot. Now it's all about green to brown. Looks at the scoreboard.
5.
He needs the 6 remaining colours. And Neil Robertson will be very disappointed if he loses this frame. It's a possibility now.
7.
Well, I'd like to have left a little bit more angle than this.
Yeah, it was a poor shot from
Robert
the yellow.
Milkins, 7.
It really was. You just want to leave yourself maybe a half ball, so you just have so you're able just to drop the green in and automatically being in the brown.
Well, chances galore. He only needed that green and the brown. Not got his long potting boots on yet. Just 2 from 7. 4 out of 4 for Robert Milkins, giving him that 100%. I assume he played the pot, but he didn't edge his bets, did he? Well, Neil Robertson just needs green and brown. If he pots the green, you think he's bound to be on the brown. I have to say, Robert Milkins is making life very easy for Neil Robertson at the moment.
Seven. $12.
So in goes the pink, and Neil Robertson getting plenty of chances off Robert Milkins. In fact, he's had more chances in the last 2 frames than he usually get in a match. But he'll settle for that. He leads 2 frames to 1. Well, while we're waiting for Neil to come back to the ring, let's have a look at a few stats and see if you can make head and tail of this match so far. Pot success, both players below, I believe, what's required, 90%. Anyway, what do you think? There you go, we're waiting for Neil. John Terry doing selfies? I thought it was the other way around you did it. This is what happens, you see, when you're top of the league. It's only when you're top of the league, JT. There's Patsy Fagan there, former United Kingdom champion, and Jeanette Gross, daughter of the great Ronnie Gross, 3 times English amateur champion. Used to have that great snooker club in Neasden.
Frame 4, Neil Robertson to break.
Mid-session interval after this, and well, you feel that Robert Milkins has got to make the most of his opportunities. He's been getting them, and he's got to cut out the unforced errors. If he can go in the mid-session interval 2 apiece, I'm certain his coach and mentor, Terry Griffiths, will calm him down a little bit. He won't slow him down, because that's not the way Robert plays, but just calm him down. And say, look, concentrate on every shot. Needs a good cue ball here, though. And he didn't get one. The old sucker punch, catching the one red on the left-hand side of the table. The one red he needed to avoid. And he caught it full in the face.
One.
Need a steady finger, close to its own spot as it can go, in a direct line with the middle of the top cushion, not
7.
touching the red that's near the pink spot.
Eight.
Got into that too much. That's why he made contact with the green. That wasn't part of the master plan.
13.
Got too much action on the cue ball. Now let's see how his long potting is now. It's not been that good. He's been hitting them all too thick. That one too thin. And he's left the red. The red's coming over the middle.
13.
And this black, even though, as we watch this again, and maybe just an allowance. He did a couple of long pots too thick. Maybe just made a minor adjustment. I was going to say, this black, even though it's surrounded by two reds, I think it can be made available quite easily. I'm not saying he plays for it now, but he plays for it sooner rather than later. Well, he is playing for it now.
6.
I think the red just above the black will go. It does. Now
7.
on the black, just got to avoid. He doesn't want to kiss the red just below the black here. He wants to leave it there. Well, in the end, he decided to play the cannon. It could have gone wrong, but it's okay.
14.
Well, the black available now into both corner pockets.
15.
Couldn't wish for a better opportunity than this. Now you see his average shot time, 18 seconds. It's usually a bit quicker than that. But
22.
he's just slowing his pace down a little bit here, is Robert. He knows the importance of this opportunity. Well, why he didn't run through for the black there, I don't
23.
know. In all honesty, and made it even worse, wrong side of the blue. Now this cue ball needs to slow down. Needs to slow down. Not
28.
perfect.
Yeah, you would have to say the major weakness of Robert Milkins, he's got all the talent in the world, is just concentration. He just plays too many careless shots. Incredible pot.
39. $33. $34.
Yeah, it's one of those matches at the moment. Chances are coming thick and fast, and well, you know, if you don't make any silly mistakes and take what's there, both players getting plenty of opportunities. Now, I think that red just to the right of the pink will go.
41.
But he'd love off this red to get a nice angle on the black to go in that little cluster of 4. Oh dear.
Robert Milkins, 41.
Great chance. Gone.
Yeah, playing that with left-hand side, run inside, and just push the cue ball thick into the red.
1.
There's another careless shot. At this level, he just plays too many of them. He's the sort of player, John, as a top player, you wouldn't mind playing him. You know he's dangerous, but you know you're going to get chances.
Yeah. And it is, as you say, I mean, it's just the easy shots he misses. I mean, OK, that red was missable, but you wouldn't expect him to miss it. He had a nice angle. OK, he might have been putting a trace of left-hand side on, but you'd expect him to knock those in. But he just is much too thick, and if you miss when you're in at this level, it can cost you the frame quite easily. But having said that, Neil needs a good angle on this black to disturb those 4 reds, and he's not got it.
$16.
Another one missed with the rest.
Robertson, 16.
And I think Robert can get through or past the blues. We see that red being missed. So there's the rest pot success, and 3 out of 5. But the last 2 he's missed were vital, or could have been. The last one, well, if he can get past the blue, he doesn't fancy it. Needs a good white here, though, opening these reds. Needs a good cue ball. Where's the cue ball going?
Foul. And Robertson, 4.
Last thing he needed.
Another long shot. As we've seen, Neil's not been his normal self in these. This is obviously the other side of the table from the ones that he's missed previously. And he got one a lot nicer, timed that really well.
1.
Yeah, solid, and played it confidently to stay on the black. Points now all square.
8.
These 4 reds in the middle of the table with blacks would be enough to clinch the frame.
9.
And he'd be delighted to be 3-1 up, because he's been a long way from his best in this match so far. Oh, that was a horrendous contact there.
And Robertson, 9.
Let's have a look at that again. I mean, yeah, you can see the bounce took all the pace out of the cue ball. And of course knocked the black off line.
Yep.
Asking for the cue ball to be clean, having a look at the black. May ask for the black to be cleaned as well. A little breathe on it, a little polish.
Yeah, it's weird, John. When you get a kick on the black, it normally leaves like a yellow mark on the cue ball, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know how come it's a yellow mark.
Well, I suppose it's a bruise, and that's how it comes out. Little blow again. It's a new way of cleaning the ball. It's a Romanian way. Well, not the best safety shot. He was looking for the baulk cushion, not the baulk line. Easy safety now for Robert. Well, I said an easy safety shot. Boy, he could have played it a lot better than that. This red just below the pink he's left, and it's potable. I mean, such an easy safety shot. Hand on the table. Can't believe he's not anywhere near the baulk line. Well, he's not been punished, as he should have been. Well, it's gone very scrappy now, and you usually find that when players miss opportunities and neither have got any consistency in the cueing, particularly in this frame, and the pot success below 90% tells the story, really. Yeah, potted the red, but, well, he's got the pink to the middle. Like to have been straighter on it. Well, he's looking up the table. I can't believe he won't play the pink. Well. Well, this is amazing. Well, he preferred the yellow. And I suppose, having potted the yellow, good pot it was.
3.
But the green was there, so he should have been able to avoid it. So, this frame's still in the balance.
And Robertson, 3.
Snooker on both reds. And swerve round the brown. Hit this red, knock it up the side cushion. Which he's done. Okay, he's left the one along the top cushion, but if these aren't tight against the cushion, they're very difficult, particularly if you're playing with any kind of pace. You could play the pot with less pace and play for the pink into the middle. But they're tricky, these. He did play it with pace, used all the pocket. Eventually dropped. But that cue ball being tight under the cushion doesn't help, as he got the natural angle to pot the pink and disturb the awkward last red. He may have, but doesn't make the pot on the pink any easier. Tight under the cushion as he is. Well, nice pot, and just didn't have the angle to... And he couldn't make the angle, because when you're close to the cushion, there's not a lot you can do with the cue ball. He couldn't widen the angle, only if he'd have played it firmer, and you won't want to risk playing the pink like that. So you think, just to safety, trying to get in behind the green, you would have thought. And he had a good line there, green, brown, blue, pink. So he's got an 11-point lead as Neil Robertson. And Robert Milkins with the age-old problem. It's not hitting this red. Can he get it safe? Can he get it safe? No. Wow, this is amazing. And he's left it. He's left the red. So, Robert Milkins, you cannot spurn this opportunity. You've got to take this one. And make Neil Robertson suffer during the interval.
One.
The colour, and then up to and including the pink to level the match.
Five. Seven. 10.
Looks a formality now. Just blue and pink needed. I don't think either player will be feeling that good about the game at the interval, but I would suggest that Robert Milkins will be the more pleased of the two. Because he was the underdog coming into this match. Neil Robertson's had plenty of opportunities. He's gifted a few, as has Robert Milkins. I suppose at the mid-session interval, 2 apiece is about right. So as both players go off, and I'm sure John Terry gets a few more selfies, we'll be back in about 15 minutes. Look forward to your company then.
What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song.
Stephen Hendry becomes Masters champion for the 6th time.
Oh, baby, how you now? All I need is my brother.
What a wonderful, wonderful finish.
That's in, is it? No.
What do I do?
Wow, would you believe it?
How do I feel at the end?
And that's brought this comes on its feet and to life.
What a remarkable, brave, courageous performance. Well played, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Match is on the knife edge. Almost forward to shake O'Sullivan's hand. Maybe he thinks
O'Sullivan's 49 and the frame.
it's not. It's best of 19.
It's right in the middle of the pocket.
The magical century break, 100 points from a minimum of 24 consecutive strikes of the cue ball. Work that one out. Now, it's become relatively commonplace, even though it requires a high level of skill under pressure, but at some stage this season, we are very likely to see a new leader on the all-time centuries ranking list. Seven-time world champion Stephen Hendry currently heads the list with 775 centuries, including 11 maximum breaks, achieved over a glittering 28-year professional career.
I set the standard so high for myself that I just wanted to make big breaks and big break and put all the balls frame after frame.
But coming up hard on his heels is Ronnie O'Sullivan. In his 23-year professional career, he has accumulated 773 tons, including 13 maximums.
The century's a great feeling, you know, especially when you put 2, 3, 4 on the bounce and you're just kind of in that groove where you're just knocking them in all the time. It's a great feeling. But obviously chasing Hendry's record, that's another incentive for me to keep making more centuries. But yeah, there's nothing like winning a game in one visit.
Every year when he keeps threatening to retire, I'll say good, and my records are safe. But no, listen, it's a matter of time. You know, it's not something that I lose any sleep over. It's just bound to happen.
The all-time top 10 makes interesting viewing. Everyone in it is still either playing or has had a long career that spans the modern era. 6 of us have been pros for more than 20 years. My 356 centuries have taken me 37 years. But both Ding Junhui and Neil Robertson, who have a few more than me, have achieved theirs in 12 and 15 seasons respectively. Last season, Neil racked up an incredible 103 centuries in a single season. To put that in perspective, it's more than Dennis Taylor, Cliff Thorburn, Terry Griffiths and many other great players managed in their entire careers.
I remember playing Doug Boucher, who was a runner-up in the World Championship, and he had a standing ovation for 273 breaks. You know, that's how it was then. You weren't seeing many centuries. You know, don't get me wrong, the players are better. I mean, I don't care what anybody says about it, the years gone by, they are better.
In the 1970s, the top 10 players made 173 between them. In the 1980s, that had risen to 706. That figure more than doubled in the 90s to 1,678 and increased by about 10% in the next decade. But look what has happened in the past 5 years. Nearly 2,000 centuries so far, and if we project the same rate for the rest of the decade, we'll be looking at a quantum leap to 4,000 centuries. The obvious counter-argument to the notion that players have simply got better is that they're playing more tournaments and therefore more frames. But the ratio of centuries made by the top 10 centurions in each decade to the number of tournaments available shows that in the 1970s there were only 2 centuries per event.
3.16 in the 80s, 7.4 in the 90s, 9.8 in the noughties, and so far this decade, just over 15. So there's no disputing that the players are scoring more centuries than ever before. The next question is, why?
A lot of it is down to Stephen Hendry, I think. You know, because he came in and he just changed the way players thought about their own games, you know, because he came in and just kept doing breaks all the time.
Players are going into the pack much earlier now. They're getting their heads open as soon as possible. If you look back to the sort of dinosaurs of the game like Davis and Griffiths and all these people that like sort of cherry-picked all the little loose reds, and then maybe when the frame was won, they'd split the pack open. But joking aside, the game's played differently the last sort of 10, 15, 20 years. Players just want to open the pack and make big breaks.
One other major difference is the table, especially the cloth. The cloth is much faster, which allows the player to manoeuvre the cue ball around the table with greater ease. And also, the pack of reds opens easier. And the pockets, well, they're roughly the same. One thing that hasn't changed is the importance of a player's first century. And it's a landmark event in anyone's snooker career.
My first century in a proper tournament was when I was 10.
I was 10 and I was playing John the Dustman.
You know, for your first one at 12-year-old was pretty awesome.
I'll always remember my first century. I was 24 years of age.
It was a massive milestone. I was nervous at that time making the century.
This is how long ago it was. I put 10p in the payphone and rang my mum up. I was crying my eyes out, I couldn't speak.
And to be honest, I don't think I had another one for about 8 months after that. I thought they would come thick and fast, but it doesn't work like that.
So when I couldn't wait to go home and tell Annette, my wife, you know, they'd done a century break, and I'm going up and I'm bouncing, you know, I'm running home and I'm going, and you never guess what's happened again. And she said, no, what? I said, well, I've done a century. She'd gone, a century? I thought you'd won some money or something.
And I made 117, and I remember like thinking, I can't believe that, because that is like the ultimate milestone for any snooker player. But I don't care what you say, world championships, this and that, there's no buzz like getting your first century. So what next? Ronnie O'Sullivan will almost inevitably become the leading centurion of all time in the very near future. But who will be the first player to reach the magical 1,000 centuries?
1,000 centuries from someone starting out is going to be tough.
Ronnie could get it, I think I'll get there.
You need to be playing a long time to do that, and it's I can't see someone making 1,000, but you never know.
Congratulations and well played. That's 300 competitive centuries in tournament play.
I definitely think I can overtake at the top. I'm only 25 and I've made over 300 centuries already, so I'm well on the way.
So the old 100 club of players that have reached a century of centuries is no longer that exclusive. Making 100 break is no mean feat, but for me to get into the 1,000 club, well, that would mean I'd have to play for another century. Wish me luck. Oh, look at that. The safety's still good.
Robert Milkins, and technique, blink and you'll miss it. He is one of the quickest players that's ever played the game of snooker. But with regards to his technique, when you look at Robert, he's got so much distance between his bridge hand and the cue ball, more so than most players.
There's certain players that I love to watch, and those players in particular, the ones with natural ability, and Robert Milkins has got that. He's the type of player, I'm certain he's dedicated, because if you play the game like that, why wouldn't you want to go into snooker club every day and play for 4 or 5 hours? He's an absolute breath of fresh air. We keep on going about there's a changing of the guard. Who are the changing of the guard? I think Robert Milkins could be one of them, if he can still keep producing that level of form which he has done over the last couple of seasons.
Well, with Robert and the speed that he plays at, when he's playing a fast player, there's not a problem, but he'd have to adapt his game when someone decides to grind him out.
It's a phrase we use quite a lot in snooker about the single ball potting. I think Robert Milkins is probably in the top 2 or 3 in the world. There's no shot on the table he can't get. Position-wise could be improved a bit, but single ball potting is up there with the very best.
He's very attacking, doesn't treat his opponents probably with as much respect as he should. Maybe his safety play could improve, but I don't want to knock him for that. I enjoy watching him play. I'm certain everybody enjoys watching him play. He's somebody who goes out there, and if he's playing well, he can beat anybody.
I was born in Melbourne on the 11th of February 1982. I turned professional in 1998. In 2003, I won the World Under-21 title. I won my first ranking title in the 2006 Grand Prix. In 2010, I won the World Championship. I beat Sean Murphy to win the Masters in 2012. I've made 2 competitive maximum 147 breaks. This season, I won my first UK Championship title. I became the 8th player to win the World, UK and Masters Championships.
Thank you. Please take your seats. Thank you. Frame 5. Robert Milkins to break.
Mid-session interval over. No more intervals now. We'll play to a finish. First to 6. 2 apiece in a match that so far yet to catch fire, but I've always said about snooker, it does make it interesting and entertaining when there are mistakes. And there has been a few from both players.
Yeah, I think Neil would have, if he's not been on the practice table, he's certainly given himself a talking to at the interval. World #1 playing in this tournament's the top 16 players in the world. You want to prove yourself in tournaments like this.
Just over 1¼ hours the first 4 frames took, so it's quick fire snooker, but as I say, with the mistakes, chances are coming thick and fast. There's no long bouts of safety. And this is a possible pot. If you could play this and screw and avoid other reds, you may be tempted to take it on, but not even looking at it. Well, I mean, to kiss the blue there is unforgivable. Okay, he may not have left anything, but he's not put any pressure on Neil Robertson whatsoever.
Well, I can certainly get through to this. Well, after that, he made a nice break in the first frame, but he's just failed to capitalise on the good start he made in this match. He's playing a world #1 who's nowhere near his best. But still 2-2.
The high breaks, 94 from Robert Milkins in the first frame, 60 from Neil Robertson in the second, but nothing over 50 since then. You wouldn't normally say that that's bad snooker, and it's just that the chances that both players have had. Just catching the yellow stopped it being a very good safety. Well, that might not be too bad if he's stopped the safety down the left-hand side of the table. Could make it a little awkward for Neil here as he tries to get back to the balk end. Didn't want to risk trying to get back into balk, but he has left a cut on here to the left middle. And then it goes, and it's not a bad kiss on the blue. He'd like to play the blue. It all depends on the angle. We'd be better off with the brown or yellow. But as I say, he'd love to play the blue and get the blue back on its spot. But sometimes the potting angle dictates which one you go for. He may have landed on the red to the left corner. Well, I think he's got a choice of reds. The problem is with this one he's going to play, he's going to kiss the second red. He can't avoid that. So he's got to try and get that cue ball into the middle of the table. If it misses the pink, oh, the little rub, absolutely perfect. If he'd hit the pink full in the face, he'd have been on nothing, but he just run past it. In good shape.
$12.
You'd like to leave yourself high in the pink here with this red, so you can pop the pink to the left corner. Play a little cannon. There's high, a little cannon to leave the red to the right middle. And then the pink goes in two pockets.
$19.
Well, he landed on this red to the left corner, but because the blues are on its spot, this isn't a straightforward positional shot. Now looking at the red to the right middle. He can't hold for the pink off that. He's got a choice of reds. I think the one to the right middle may be favourite, but he's playing this. But as I say, he's not certain to be on the colour. And if he's not on the pink, he's got a tough shot in front of him. He's just on it.
Yeah, you just seen him raise his hand to kneel there to apologise. This is not what he played. Played for the cue ball to be the other side of that red.
$26. $27. $33. $34.
That's okay.
40.
I'm not saying he played for the red to the right middle, but he'll be happy to be on it as he is.
41. $47. Yeah. 48.
Yeah, a little bit of a bounce there, but it hasn't really affected the position. But when you're striking down on that, like that, you get a little bit of a bounce on the cue ball. This is the last of the easy reds to get on. So imperative now he gets a
54.
good angle on this pink. 54 ahead.
$55.
This will put him 61 ahead with 75 remaining. Well, this red does go. And in potting it, play a screw shot. He'll bring other reds into play. He's looking for 2 more
61.
reds, that's all, to clinch this 5th frame.
$62.
And that looks good enough. Just roll the pink in. Even the pink will put him 68 points in front with just 67 remaining.
$68. $69.
Well, that was a tough one. All right, where's the pink ball going? Where's the pink? Ooh.
69. And
Well,
the frame.
Neil Robertson thought about it, thought when it was worth coming back, decided against it. So Robert Milkins, he won the first frame, and now he's in front again. But this time, 3-2. Yeah, super crowd we've got in, Stephen. It's amazing what people get up to in the interval. Have a look at this. There you go. Not certain what the tune was, but it wasn't My Old Man's a Dustman. Dee 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 dee. But no, we've been blessed, haven't we? Marvellous crowds here at Ali Pali.
Yes, we've only ever had one tournament in London, where the used to be the Masters at Wembley Conference Centre. Used to get great crowds for that. Never Ali Pali.
Yeah, they certainly come out in the hordes when we have a tournament in London, and it's great to see.
Thank you.
It creates such
Frame
a
6.
great atmosphere as well.
Take your seats. Neil Robertson to break.
Neil Robertson gets frame 6 underway. And I'll ask the question now, Stephen. I mean, he'd be more concerned with the fact that he's not cueing that well, I would have thought, than whether he's going to lose this match. He's got to find his best form, hasn't he?
Yeah, that, I mean, obviously, he's I believe he has been on the practice table at interval, trying to find a bit of rhythm. But as you say, one of his strengths is his long putting. And now you see 40%. Normally you'd think he'd be sort of 65, 70%.
This looks a good white. Just drifted past the yellow, so he's left a long pot on here for Robert. You wouldn't expect him to turn it down. And stroked it in beautifully. Could have done with screwing back maybe 2 or 3 inches more. He's not perfect on this pink, mainly because the potting angle is taking him away from the reds, but nice long pot.
Yeah, and I love the way he played it. Positive. I mean, look what he was leaving on if he missed it. He didn't think about that. He just thought about potting the red and getting on the pink. That's what makes him such a dangerous opponent. But he got to get the pink.
Wow, I thought that was in for a moment. That looked like it was in the pocket. Did it just roll over? Playing it that slow, it can run over a finger mark or a bit of chalk dust.
Just seemed to pull over a little bit, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
And left it right at the very end.
Taking that opportunity to bring the black into play. Surely he's not nestled on the red, so he can't get the pink. No one could be that unlucky. Well,
Neil can.
If anyone can, Neil can. Surely he can get through to the pink. Well, he can't. Not without a swerve, and if you swerve it too much, you could go in off. Things that happen on a snooker table. And it's only 12 foot by 6. Still using old measurements, have you noticed? I don't know what the new measurements are for a snooker table. Taking over a minute. As I say, if he swerves this too much and hits the pink full in the face, he could run through in off.
Ping ball.
Could run through in off. That was always the danger. But he was, to be fair, very unlucky not to be able to get through to the pink. Got the swerve, but of course it had top spin. Had nothing to stop it once it hit the pink. The white just kept on rolling. Well, it wasn't the best safety shot, but, well, I don't know. I might be tempted here. I certainly think Neil would have been tempted if he could get through to the red that's near the left-hand cushion. But the yellow's blocking that, but even so, those two reds, sort of second left, if you like. I think they will go past the black, and that black's making it look a big pocket. Just at the left jaw, it just a bit wide, it going off the black. Didn't need the black. Good long pot. A nice flick on the blue, just slowed the cue ball down. So nicely on a bought colour. As I say, you would have thought it was going to go in off the black, but clean as a whistle. And certainly this red is available on near the left-hand cushion if he wanted to play for that. Just having a look round which is the best ball to play on. Obviously not straightforward. If it had been, he'd have played it by now. Not deciding to play the black. Played it well. Good shot. Not certain where the black goes, though, when it's respotted. But surely it won't go in there.
Eight. 9.
Now an opportunity to pot the black and go into this cluster of reds. There may be the red at the top of that cluster of 6 may be available into the left corner, but surely you'd fear he'd take this opportunity to play the cannon. May even clear the pink spot. Well, decided against it. And that's not perfect by any means. To the extent he can pot this red, but
16.
How does he get on a colour? With great difficulty, I would suggest. Well,
17.
He's managed to get the cue ball out into the middle part of the table, which makes this black available. That's better. That's more like the new Robertson we expect.
$24. 25.
They broke nice. When you go into them, you're just hoping for an easy
32.
pot to continue with, and he's got one to the right middle, and he's opened up the other red's frame-winning chance.
And I think this is possibly what Neil needs to get himself going, is to win a frame in one visit. Hasn't done that thus far in this match.
I know he's a good
35.
potter, Stephen, but he's just not getting good close control on the next ball, and it's just making it that little bit difficult. But played that well,
36.
found the gap, good shot. Judged that perfectly. Now back in prime position.
If I'm honest, I don't think the table's the fastest table I've ever seen,
43.
which might be a reason why it's not got complete control of the cue ball.
$44.
44.
49. 50.
Not happy with the contact there. Let's have a look. Yeah, that little bounce just took out that couple of inches of pace. All right, you don't expect him to miss the black, but being left-handed, he'd like to have been a little bit straighter. Yeah, no problem. Side highs break 60 at the moment.
57.
Could better that here. Used all the pocket there.
58.
And it went. So just this red. Now we'll be all level again. You see it, 65 ahead,
71.
51 remaining. If this red goes in, no way Robert Milkins will come back to the table.
72.
And can we see our first century of the evening? Every chance. Top cushion. Just got to miss the red on the way back. He hasn't.
77.
Playing the double into the right middle. Top corner. Anywhere.
Robertson,
Anyway, doesn't matter. 77 was enough, so this match, to-in and throw-in. Still very hard to pick a winner at the moment, but Neil Robertson will be pleased. He levels at 3 apiece. Well, neither player, Stephen, really convincing at the moment. Robert Milkins had first chance, that frame, didn't make the most of it. And Neil not got, as you say, it could be something to do with the tail, but not got real good control of the cue ball as yet.
No, but as I said, maybe it's the first frame he's won in one scoring visit, so that might give him some confidence. And now the best of 5. He's so unpredictable, Robert Milkins. You just don't know. He could come out the next 3 frames and make 3 visits in 10 minutes a frame, or he could give you loads of chances. So it makes him such a difficult opponent. Just so hard to predict what he's going to do next.
Thank you. Game 7, Robert Milkins to break.
It's been quick fire snooker. We've only had 1 frame that's gone over the 20-minute mark. There you see, average frame time, just over 16.5 minutes. As I say, it's been entertaining because you sort of, as you say, in question of sport, what happened next, and you're never too certain. Been good potting, good breaks, but also mistakes. Well, those 2 reds just above the black, I don't know there's a possibility. He's having a look, I know there's a possibility of a plant. Well, they're not far off. Just depends if there's enough distance between the 2 reds. If they're too close together, you hit one on the left-hand side, it'll push the other one to the right. But there might be enough room for this plant to be made here. It's risky. Robert decides too risky.
I think one of the reasons he wasn't going to play this plant, as we look at it here, is the cue ball would be careering into the pack. So if you weren't absolutely certain that the plant, you can't really play it. But it looks on from there.
It did. The virtual image said that, I think it was one of them, if you'd have been right behind it, you'd have been tempted. Decent safety shot, that, from Neil Robertson. Can't say that... Oh, he just missed the red. But finishing on the baulk line, it's not a good safety. You always tell, if you watch a game of snooker, and we open up like a lot of frames do with a bout of safety, just check whether the baulk colours are on their spots. If they're not, that means there's been a few loose safeties played. They always say, when you play safe, don't hit a baulk colour. And there's another example. And if you don't hit a baulk colour, chances are you'll play a 10 in safety, as Robert Milkins has done there. Went full-blooded for that one. Now, what damage has been done? He went for it, he didn't see a safety. But has he left anything? No, he didn't. Just flicked the brown. If he'd have just run by it, then it would have been a good safety, but not too difficult now for Neil to play a better one. But once again, catching a baulk colour. Red's gone near the corner. Has he got a good cue ball? He has. He has. Looks straightforward, really. I wouldn't see any problem here for Neil, just to come off the side cushion and nestle on this red. That's the line he'll be looking at. We don't want to run past it, though. Oh, that's careless. That is very careless.
One.
I know you won this great championship, Stephen, 6 times. Did you always find the first match a bit more nervy? I know you weren't affected much by nerves, but did you always find your first match that little bit more difficult, a little bit more tension? You know, the first round match?
7.
To be honest, not in this tournament, because I knew it was always the top 16 players, and I basically knew that you had to be on it from day one. You know, sometimes like the World Championship or the UK Championship, you may be playing, you know, a lower ranked player in the first couple of rounds. You maybe you're not focused enough, but I always knew I had to be on my game right from round 1, and that's what maybe surprises me about tonight. Neil, he just doesn't look on it really. He's usually a fast starter.
He had the same problem, of course, Neil, in the UK when he was 5-0 down to Graham Dott. OK, he played some tremendous snooker to get back to 5 each, but it wasn't enough. He lost 6-5 to Graham. But you can't afford to be giving your opponents easy chances, because the rankings don't come into it if you're not taking your opportunities. And he's giving Robert plenty, that's the main thing. That's a good shot with the rest. He's trusting to look for position. Well, he's on a red.
10.
He's on a red, but he's hampered. Now, I'm just wondering, this red just to the right of the black, is it straight into the far corner pocket? If it was, you may be tempted to play it. Well, it was.
Robert Milkins, 10.
I thought if he was going to take it on, he might just put all his eggs in one basket and play for the black here. He played it with an element of safety, which is not his natural game. His natural game is just to go for it.
That would have been a telling snooker, but for the bump in the middle, on the middle pocket. I don't know whether Robert could get through to pot it. You wouldn't fancy playing the pot anyway. You wouldn't know where the cue ball was going. So just playing the containing safety shot, but not really put Neil under any pressure whatsoever. And he'll be looking to try and get this cue ball in behind the brown here. And behind the brown he got it. Well played. Well, if it runs, it'll hit the pink.
Call and miss.
So definitely a miss will be called. See no reason why Neil won't have it replaced. So he's got to adjust the line here. If that cue ball had a run on then and kissed the pink, he'd have left the red to the corner pocket.
Okay.
Just
Sorry.
a little bit closer and
A little bit.
I didn't quite see as much as I.
You see the way the white just rocked back.
Yeah.
Anyway, everybody happy. He's got to be careful with this. As I say, if he hits the pink, he'll leave a red to the corner. But this is a better line. Has he got the length? Has he got the length?
Call and miss. Robertson, 4. Yep.
Oh, he got the line second time. How's the line? Oh, he's hitting the pink this time, is it? Yep. And does he leave the red? Oh, well.
Call and miss. Robertson, 6.
Is it so hard that...
Touching ball.
I don't think you'd be interested in touching ball, referee. get it back behind the brown. So, fourth attempt coming up. A lot of hands going out here. Everybody happy? Good line this time, and a good length. Well done. A little bit thick with the contact, but at least he got past the baulk line. Well, I'm not certain he played the pot there, but anyway, if he did, it didn't go in. It's left. Now the black is available into both corner pockets. If he could get on it off this red, that'd be ideal, but can he? He needs to be very accurate if he's playing for the black. Decided the best way was to go back up for the blue, and played that pretty well. Straighter would have been better, but decent shot. Well, he sort of played the blue there with it, sort of hoping he was going to get a good kiss rather than trying to get one.
Yeah, it's very unlike Neil Robertson. Normally you would maybe screw the cue ball into the pink to kill the pace of the cue ball. Not so much to open the pack, but just to stop the cue ball running away from. It's not bad recovery, and if he's got a good angle in the yellow, he can get back down towards the reds. Good pot this. He must have an angle in the yellow because he's looking to see what red he can get on. The red at the bottom of the bunch of those five. It's potable to the right corner. He's a good positional shot to get on it. That's what he's played for. And it looks pretty good. Perfect.
Yeah, excellent. And as I said earlier, when he first came to the table, the black available into both corner pockets. And now he's on the black.
10.
A good chance. Very good chance.
17.
Well, I'll have to go up for the blue here. That's okay, as long as you get a nice angle on the blue.
18.
And he's just about got it. Those two reds just above the black, both available into the left corner. 22-point lead at the moment to build on.
$23. 24. $31. 32.
'Well, he's okay. He's got a red to the left middle. And that's all you want, is an easy ball to continue with. He's opened the reds enough now, the reds he needs to clinch the frame at this visit. You'll be surprised and he will be disappointed if he doesn't win the frame now.
$40.
Well, he didn't have a perfect angle on the blue. Played that with a lot of left-hand side, but it's still quite high in this red. This is missable if he's trying to hold for the black. Normally miss this thin. Oh, he's played that well. Yeah, won the last room one visit, so maybe this is Neil starting to find that higher gear that the top players are supposed to find when they're in trouble.
Just over the 2 hours match time, and obviously this red will pot. He'd like to have
51.
been playing it with his hand on the table. Just looking for a red and a colour. He's missed a few vital balls with the rest in this match so far. And there's another one. And there's another one. And how crucial
Robertson,
will that
51.
be? That's about the third time this evening when he's had a frame ball. 50% less success. Well, that's not good. It's not the easiest of chances for Robert, obviously, this, with the 3 reds lined up along the top cushion, but he'll be just glad to be back at the table with a chance.
7. 8.
Would like to have had an angle in the black to cannon at least one of those 2 reds that are below the black off the cushion and still be on the red that's closest to the left corner, but I don't think he's got an angle in the black. So now has to finish high on the black here.
15.
Yeah, looks pretty good.
16.
Yeah, you could play for the 1 red, but I think if you got the nice angle, then it may be worthwhile stunning into the red immediately below the black. And that's what he's done. Well, he's brought that red away. Now, he'll be hoping the black doesn't go on its spot here. Scratch of the head tells me he thinks it does. He'll be hoping it doesn't. And it does. But I still think the red is available. He's not bothered about the black. Oh, he'd love to have been able to roll this in and be on the black, but he can roll this in and play for the pink in the middle, and that red next to the black may still be available. But this red is tricky, and the more pace he puts into it, more likely he'll miss it.
Yeah, if the black, that red doesn't pot, is he tempted to move it here? Yeah, that's what he's played. Obviously it didn't pot.
Robert Milkins,
But he's been lucky.
Lucky? Dear me, that look. If he's snookered him on the both reds, that's an unbelievable result. Has he? Well, he may be able to hit the red. I don't think he can pot it. Could just get to the edge of it. And that's all he could do. Just get a good cue ball. And fair play, he's done that. But a good cue ball wasn't good enough.
1.
Now then, just got to think about this. 31 points of difference.
Yep.
That cue ball needs to stop. It's okay. He wasn't happy with the contact.
Well, I tell you what, without the kick, I think he would have gone too far with the cue ball.
Yeah, it didn't look the natural angle, did it? I think that little jump took the pace out of the cue ball and left him nicely on this red. What a chance. This is the tough red, though. Clean as a whistle. And a nice angle on the black. Now needs a good angle on the yellow to get on the awkward green.
Might be okay, I'm sure.
11.
Played to finish left side of the yellow. But this looks quite good to come off the side cushion for the green. It's the same pocket. Has he got enough side on the cue ball?
13.
Yeah, he's okay. He's going to have to drop this green in. What a frame this will be to pinch.
Needs the 4 remaining colours. Oh, what a chance he'd given himself. And a chance
Robert Milkins, 16.
he let slip. Okay, the brown's run safe. But will he get a better chance than that? Glances at the scoreboard, 16 points behind, 22 remaining. And that's why he looked at the scoreboard. He decided he played a very thin contact and thought, well, if I miss it, then I won't be in the snooker's required stage, which he isn't. Six of one, half a dozen the other here. Replace it or play it from there. Let your opponent play it, or do you play it? What would I do? I think I'd play it myself. Half ball, brown. Hit the brown, half ball, left-hand side. Plenty of right-hand side on the cue ball, which you'll check the cue ball and send the brown of 2-3 cushions towards the black. But would you rather your opponent attempt it than yourself? And it's shot time, and asking his opponent to play the shot. So as I say, you play the brown half ball, left hand side, plenty of right hand side, check the cue ball, send the brown towards the black. Wasn't that difficult, was it?
Yeah, strange Neil didn't play that. He's put himself under pressure here a little bit. No, he's played that one well though.
Yes, and got the full ball snooker, as you can see. Now, as long as Robert can get to the top cushion and just nestle on this red, oh, I'm sorry, the brown, then it's okay. But the way he's looking, the black is in the way of the natural one cushion escape. So in the end, decides to play it with pace. He needs a bit of luck here. Well, will Neil be tempted? It's an easy safety. No, he wasn't tempted. Ooh, but he's left it. So close to the middle pocket, I mean, it nearly went in. I say he's left it, but it'd be a tough pot to take on. But I always think when you make a decision whether to play the safety shot or the pot, which is easier, Robert decided the safety. Don't blame him. This one's a little bit trickier, mainly because the cue ball's close to the cushion. Now it needs to run, that brown. It needs to run. This is possible. Just the brown needed. Would you believe it?
Yeah, how do you get in the blue here though? Oh, he's done well there.
4.
Didn't have any decent pot in the blue. That was a good shot. Excellent blue.
5.
Pink and black needed.
Robert. 15.
Now, with the rest, he has 100% success rate. Boy, does he need it now.
Yes,
it's there. Well, what a turnaround. How did Neil Robertson lose that one? I don't know, but the scoreboard said he did. And Robert Milkins is in front again, this time 4-3. Well, what a frame that was, Stephen. I can't believe these frames. It seems apart from an odd one, it seems every frame, it's a toss of a coin who's going to take the last chance.
Yeah, the previous frame, Neil won in one visit, and he looked like he was going to do the same there. Looked like he was getting into a good rhythm of scoring, and played a careless positional shot, and again missed a, which was quite a straightforward shot with a rest.
Yeah, and 3 times I can remember vital balls he's missed with the rest. This was one he missed there, and that was on that occasion he needed the red and the colour. That one he missed, and this one could turn out to be the most costly, because if that goes in, that was frame over. So Robert Milkins, he'll be saying, like Neil will be saying, I'm not playing my best, but I'm in front.
He'll be delighted. Those are the frames that give you the huge boost when you're like 50, 60 behind. You can pinch those frames in matches like this, especially at 3-3 at this stage of the game. Can he cut out the unforced errors? What a chance to win this match if he can.
But as you say, that's the one thing, isn't it? You sat in your chair, you think you've lost the frame, you're preparing for the next one and being 4-3 behind, and then to get the opportunity and then to win it as he did, I mean, you know, what a boost. Anyway, he's alone with his thoughts. Neil Robertson has left the arena. Certainly he's not happy at the moment, the world #1. But he's had plenty of chances. You can't say he's been unlucky in any way. Here he comes, the new slimline Neil Robertson. I thought he couldn't get any slimmer, but this new vegan diet apparently is on. Looks fitting well, but
thank you, frame 8, Neil Robertson to break.
100% at the moment. So the Australian gets frame 8 underway. Can certainly find a path back to the balk end, can Robert here, but that cluster of reds, a little pyramid below the pink, to get past the red on the left-hand side of the table, or the right-hand side now, as we look at the virtual image, you'd have to hit it thick, and hitting it thick, you're going to open the reds. And that's why he seems as though he's going to play this one. Sort of half-hearted attempt, thought maybe the only red I can leave is the one I'm playing. And I don't think he's left anything too easy. He just didn't want to risk going back to the balk end and leaving Neil Robertson a chance of that red. But he's left one to the middle. So Neil Robertson in first, but the way this match has gone so far, it doesn't mean a lot.
Four. Five.
Cleared the black spot. Just got to be a little bit careful with this one.
12.
as he pots it, he'll be running off that little pyramid of 6. So you either play the run through or the screw back. I always feel with the run through, you can misjudge it, whereas a little screw back, you have a bit more control. Even thinking about playing one to the far corner. Surely not.
Cue ball closer to the side cushion than you would like, so if you're not 100% confident, these are missable. You cued that well though.
$20. 21.
'Played that nicely. He knew he'd always have the red to the right corner.
28.
The possibility of having a choice of reds to the left corner. And also opened a few more reds. This is a great chance, but as I say, with what's gone on so far this evening, we won't and he won't be taking anything for granted.
$29. 36. 37.
Well, it's hard to see
43.
when he would slip up here unless he got a kicker or something unforeseen. Very little to do with the cue ball now.
$44. 50. 51.
'Well, you see it, 57 ahead, 83 remaining.
57.
2 reds, 2 colours would be enough.
Man, this just shows the power of a good break-off, doesn't it? Forced Robert Milkins into going for that long red. They didn't really want to play. And this is a result. Well, there you see it.
58.
The only thing that might stop this was a bad contact, and he got one. Can just use these 2 reds to the left of the pink as a stopper for the cue ball. Oh, in fact, went past him. And that's the frame, you would think.
65.
Yes, just red and any colour would do it.
66.
So 2 snookers required now, but you wouldn't think Robert Milkins will be getting an opportunity to come back to the table.
74.
And that's Neil's
80.
highest break of the match.
$81. $88. Yeah.
Made 393 centuries in his career.
89.
But last season, 103 centuries in a season. It was unbelievable, wasn't it? He's made 32 this season. Needs to slow down a bit. Don't get hampered by the blue. Oh. Well, he needs a double here
95.
to make this into a century. Go in, you beauty. Oh! Well, he won't be bothered about that, but he will be a little upset he didn't make the century. But at least he's levelled the match and once again wins a frame in one visit. That was more like the Neil Robertson we've come to expect. 4-all. Yeah, as you say, Stephen, it was all about the break-off there. Good break-off. I thought Robert may be tempted to play the safety, but maybe not that much confidence in his safety play. Took on a red that, as you say, I don't think he wanted to play.
Yeah, it was a tough situation. He's gone 4-3 up. He probably wanted to have a comfortable shot to play. Didn't want to be put under pressure so early. You see, it's so important to get that cue ball as tight to that ball cushion as possible. As you say, he had a safety shot off that pyramid, but it had to be really exact, and this was an all or nothing shot. And when he missed it thin, obviously the cue ball's running away from him.
Yeah, and it just shows you, doesn't it, the fine lines between success and failure. And that was the only shot he had in that frame.
Take your seats. Frame 9. Robert Milkins to break.
Well, we started off best of 11, and now it's a best of 3. There were certainly signs in that frame that Neil Robertson was beginning to find his touch, but I always say that the nearer you get to the end of a match, the more an odd run of the ball, an unforced error can turn it all around. This match for me is still very much on. I know at the start Neil Robertson had been a very warm favourite, but it's not looking that simple now. This could be good if it bounces and gets behind the green. Well, not quite, but still a good safety. Did I sense a little bit of frustration there? Didn't have to play the pot, but probably thought, well, playing the pot, I could get the cue ball back to the balk end, but didn't hit the red anywhere near full enough. Easy enough red, but needs a good shot to get position on a colour. Possibility, I don't know if there's a gap here. If you could play this little gap. He's just having a look now. And if he cannoned into that second red full at the right pace, he would just about be on the black. Well, didn't fancy it, so ran through, and he'll be happy with that. He's on the pink. Played it nicely. Didn't want to risk playing the cannon, but thought if he ran through and didn't, as long as he didn't catch the second ball full in the face, the white would keep running, which it has done. Yeah, it just came a little bit too straight, forced the angle. Has he forced it enough? Can he cut this red in?
7.
It looks mighty fine. Didn't think it was worth the risk.
Robert Milkins, 7.
Well, terrific pot. And look where the cue ball finished. He thought he'd play it in such a way that it'd be on the brown and he wouldn't leave anything but the red he was playing, as long as he got close to the pot. And that's exactly what happened. Good thinking, good shot. Well, dear me, the rest is
Robertson, 1.
letting him down this evening. Didn't see that one coming, but immediately it went to the top cushion. You knew it wasn't going to drop. Oh, well, Robert. They are missable, those. But it was one that he couldn't afford to miss. Where's the pink ball going? It's okay.
1.
Decided to go into the reds off the red. Hit them solid enough. Always knew, of course, he'd be on the brown with it being over the pocket as it is. So here's another chance. Well, he won't miss this one with the rest.
5. Six.
Yes, nicely judged cannon. Black only available at the moment into the right corner pocket. So you need nice, tight, close control of the cue ball in these situations.
Thirteen. 14.
Obviously feels he can get to this red now, to the left corner. I don't think he'll be holding for the black. May have to go up for the blue. Well, he could hold for the black.
22.
And that'll do nicely, because the least amount of distance that cue ball has to travel, the better. A little bit straighter on this red, it appears. You can see a little grimace. Yeah, he wanted a slight angle. Can he force it round of 2 cushions? You don't want to pinch too much of the pocket and miss the red. And if he can't run it round of 2 cushions, it's come a little bit awkward now, amazingly enough. No, he couldn't.
30.
So this isn't perfect. In potting the black or playing the pot, he'll run into the red just above the black. So he's got one eye on position, but don't take your eye off the pot. But played it nicely and controlled the cannon superbly. Back in good shape.
38. $45. 46.
Just looking at the moment, Stephen, as though he's a more likely player to win the frame in one visit.
Yeah, and as the match gets closer to the end, he seems to be looking more focused.
$53. 54.
Playing at a better pace.
59.
Red and a pink could do. Put him 60 points in front with just 59 remaining.
60.
Pots the blue, gets 59 points in front with 59 left, but he's obviously pretty certain he'll get the red after the blue here. So go within one frame of victory. There you see it, 59 ahead, 59 remaining, but not for long.
65.
Just this red required. taken these well, run out of position slightly a couple of times, but played nice recovery shots.
$73. $74.
Well, a few times this evening we've been talking up the
81.
century break. We've not seen one yet.
82.
As I said earlier, he's made 32 centuries this season. $393 in total.
89. 90.
We should see one, but he needs the yellow and the green. Does the green pass the pink?
97.
Obviously does.
99.
Well played.
102.
Well played. When you get to the nitty-gritty of a match, it's a good performance. Okay.
106.
He missed another shot in this frame with the rest when he missed the brown and gave Robert Milkins a chance. Robert couldn't take advantage of it. He got a second opportunity and he's made the most of this one. Deep screw. Well, he's not bothered about the black.
117.
He'll settle for the 117, which puts him one frame away from victory. Robert Milkins had half a chance there, but he didn't take it. And Neil Robertson now leads 5 frames to 4. So yes, all about fractions. It looked as though the rest may have cost Neil Robertson another frame there. But unfortunately, Robert couldn't take advantage. Here's the brown with the rest.
Yeah, a bit disappointed with this miss. This was a good chance. You always seem to miss that shot thick. But the top players, John, when it gets near the end of the match, as we said, Neil always looks to be the heavier scorer, but you're just able to hold yourself together better, and you just seem to switch on. It just looks a different player, not as hesitant as it perhaps was in the first half of the match.
Yeah, we'll be pleased to be only 1 frame away from victory.
Thank
You'll be
you.
hoping this is the last frame, but
Frame 10.
I'll take nothing for granted here, the way this match has gone.
It's another pretty decent break-off. This red does pot to the left corner, but I don't think there's a path round. Well, there's a path round, but the cue ball's so close to the baulk cushion. And this is tough. Needs to get this right to miss the blue. Whatever you do,
don't hit the blue. Yep. And that was the problem, particularly playing it with side. I don't know whether he needed the right-hand side on to get to the reds, possibly did, but once he brought that side, it comes off 2 cushions, he's going to cross the blue line, and that's why he caught it. But he's not punished. He is not punished, so if this red just above the black goes, boy, this is a chance. Does the red just above the black go?
surprising miss though from Neil. That was a chance to win this match. I know it's first red of the frame, but That's the sort of chance you look for to get over the line. Pretty comfortable red just to drop on the black there.
Yeah, he wasn't having to do much with the cue ball. I agree. I mean, you know, as I said before, the pot's sometimes made difficult by having to manoeuvre the cue ball. Obviously, that red just above the black will not go. But surely he can roll this red in and play. Well, he's just trusted to luck.
1.
It looked like he just stunned the red above it and possibly even stay in the black. The red is directly above that red. Just play a little stun shot and up the black to the left corner.
Yeah, it looked on, didn't it?
1 ball. Robert Milkins 1.
Yeah, if we look at that, I mean, I know he's hit it very hard, but if we could say stop, if he'd have played it a bit slower. So he hits it, cannons that red, stop there, you're on the black. But he decided just to hit and hope. Wrong choice for me. Well, he went for the pot, and I'm just getting the feeling at the moment that he's just tightening up a little bit, Robert. He's not getting through the ball, and he's under-hitting everything. I mean, OK, I don't mind him playing this pot. Every reason if it did go, but don't be leaving the cue ball well short of the baulk line. You're asking for trouble.
Just coming round to see the gap between the black and the 2 reds near the black cushion. He's going to stun off 2 cushions here, or 1 cushion for the black to the same pocket as this red. And he's got the gap, got the 2 cushions.
1.
Where does the black spot after he pots it? He wouldn't mind it going up to the blue, or even the pink spot here. Well, as long as it pots, he doesn't mind it going to the pink spot, but that's not good.
Sorry. Yep.
Does the black pot to the right corner? It does. So 1 good positional shot here, and this is a chance.
Nine. Black ball. $16. $17. 23. 24. 30. 31. 38. 39. 46.
2 3/4 hours, match time. I knew it'd be pretty
47.
quick fire potting and break move. Only had one frame that really was long, and that went over the 31-minute mark. That was frame 7.
54. 55.
So this black to go 61 points in front with only 75 remaining. So this black, another red and a black or pink would be enough. Judge that nicely. Red and a black,
62.
red and a pink, and Robert Milkins' race may be run. He's on the pink. He's on the pink nicely, and this pink will put him 68 points in front with just 67 remaining. It's been a tough workout for Neil Robertson.
69.
Sometimes you'd have to say, from his own making.
70.
But when he needed to come on strong, he has done. From 4-3 down, he's made breaks of 95 in frame 8, 117 in frame 9,
76.
and 76 and counting in frame 10. We're not counting anymore, but it should be enough. 75 points of difference, 59 remaining. 4 snookers required. Surely that's enough for Neil Robertson to be through to the next round.
One.
So 67 behind,
8.
51 remaining.
9.
You obviously try to leave 1 red on the table for snookering purposes. He'd have liked to have been this one, but he'll play the
16.
pot on this one to try and get on the black. Needs to get it. It's good night from him, and it's good night from me.
16.
So there you go. Robert Milkins had opportunities. He'll be disappointed he didn't make the most of them. Neil Robertson will have to up his game if he's going to win the Masters in 2015. But he'll be just relieved to get through that first round. So the world number 1, Neil Robertson, beats Robert Milkins by 6 frames to 4. It was a struggle.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, tomorrow afternoon we'll be back on 1 o'clock, and the defending champion, Ronnie O'Sullivan, will be playing Ricky Walden. You won't want to miss that one. But for now, good night, sleep well.